we now export security. You know that we are supporting
across the region.
Across the region. We are in Somalia. We are the leading country in pacifying Somalia. We've been in Congo. We have been in the Central African Republic. So, so the NAM then comes to Uganda partly as a, certainly, for example, it couldn't have gone to let's say, okay, I shouldn't name and cause discomfort to other countries, but it couldn't go to a country where bullets are flying or where people are running or all over the place.
And yet it is actually pushing for peace.
Yes, and yet it's pushing for peace. So for us, we are happy that we are hosting this.
Okay.
And one way of doing this is that we put in place, we have a national organizing committee which is led by our head of public service. Madam Lucy Nachobe. She's the overall chair and direction for this. She's giving us direction. She's supported, I believe by now, a lot of people know that our ambassador to the UN, permanent representative, Ambassador Adonia Yebare, is closely supporting her. We have a national organizing committee, then we have various subcommittees. In fact, I want to thank UBC for doing spectacularly well in the job of broadcasting, the official broadcaster for the NAM. It is UBC, and you've done commendably well. You are giving updates by the minute, by the hour, by the day. So far, so good. But UBC, UBC, you are also giving feeds to other media houses. I think you have grown strongly as a national broadcaster and as a national carrier, because you are carrying everyone else.
To continue inspiring the entire country.
That's what inspiring is about. And maybe I also need to note that it's not just the NAM, this what we call MICE. Uganda is now a leading destination, and we want to continue promoting Uganda as a destination. MICE meaning meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions.
Well, Commissioner, also before we look into that, let's look at the relevance of us hosting the NAM Summit 2024. Looking at it broadly, because many of the Ugandans out there want to know where are the benefits, you know, being brought about by the fact that we are now the host nation of this one, and we are holding the chairmanship till 2027.
Yeah, very, very important for the people who are watching us this morning. NAM is big for Uganda, like I've said. One, at a diplomatic front, not anyone chairs a membership of 120 countries from across the world. And in this regard, I really need to thank our diplomats at the UN, led by Ambassador Yebare. So it means diplomatically, Uganda is a well-respected country from around the world, which means if I carry a Ugandan passport, the country that is hosting NAM this year, no one will ask me which country are you coming from. So this brings honor and pride to the motherland, that is Uganda. But also it means Uganda now has a big voice in the international arena. Remember, these NAM countries are member countries of the United Nations.
Yes.
So it means whether at regional or international level or within the auspices of the United Nations, we have a bigger voice than before. So diplomatically, we are amassing, like I wrote, I think about 3 weeks ago in the New Vision, we have amassed a lot of weight diplomatically, we have amassed a lot of leg room. It means our voice is listened to. But it also means if you have your president chairing NAM for a period of 3 years, because he's going to chair starting this year into 2027.
Yes.
3 years is quite a long time, and it means now him, as someone who has been a chief advocate for investment in Uganda, for tourism in Uganda, so we have a bigger voice than ever before. So the people who are involved in like in international trade, export, investment, once we attract more investment in Uganda, it means it's good for the country. Money is coming in. Even now as we talk, the guests we are hosting have been spending money. I was in Bugorobi on Sunday. I found these people buying things from those supermarkets and shops from around there. But it also means with this inflow of dollars and other hard currencies, even the price of the dollar is going down already. So that's good for business, but also tourism. I've seen already Uganda Life Education Center. There are things happening there. These guys are visiting there.
And then UTB is doing the promotion.
Yeah, UTB is doing promotion. So we have money coming into the country already as an immediate benefit. But also I've seen some of these people taking what young people call selfies. You know, in places like Makerere and the other places around Kampala already. Okay. And posting them. So it means, in terms of marketing Uganda, this is good for us. And that's why we are encouraging that those who have a bit of time also do some excursion trips. For example, Namugongo Shrines, Ndere Center, Makerere University itself. We have Gaddafi Mosque, which is, I'm told, which is either the biggest or one of the biggest in Africa. We have Namirembe Cathedral, the likes of Namirembe Cathedral, which is one of the oldest cathedrals in the world. We have Uwek, I've talked about that. We have Lake Victoria, which is the world's largest freshwater body. And you know, we have over 30 islands in there. So people who are going to
also source to
Nile. Source of the Nile, yes, which is 1 hour away from Kampala. But as you go to the Nile, you're also going through Mavira Forest, which is one of the big tropical natural forests in Africa, where they can do things like zip lining for young people like yourself. You who is hosting me, there's what they call bungee jumping.
Yes,
at the source of the Nile and River Nile. So in other words, and as they are doing all this, they are spending money. So it means ordinary people are also benefiting from this. I've seen these people shopping around down here, the National Theatre. Those people selling crafts and the African shirts. There's that place on Uganda Road. Okay. So it means even Muntu Awansi, this is not just a conference for us who wear coats and ties, but this is a real opportunity, a huge opportunity, hosting the NAM as a country and as a people. Okay. So let's receive them well in the usual warm and welcoming way that we Uganda. I've seen some people distorting what my minister, Honorable Chris Barrio,
when he said we have to be receptive.
Yes, he said let's receive them warmly like we normally do, because as we know, Ugandans are very warm and receiving people. But I've seen some people saying that he is forcing people to smile. To smile. No, what he meant is that let's receive them in our usual warm Ugandan spirit of hospitality, and making sure that our guests are comfortable. And well,
of course, for the viewers out there, as the Commissioner has mentioned, we just need to have our welcoming nature back at the front, or our hospitable nature, as we're receiving our guests and further, or let's say the delegates that are coming through. Also, to put you into proper context with our conversations as well, this particular morning, as we are looking and highlighting the first 2 days of the NAM summit that is happening in Uganda, as we are also giving you a preview for what is coming forward in relation to day 3, day 4, 5, and 6. But besides that, when you look at the member states of the NAM summit, 53 of those members are from Africa, 39 from Asia. Europe only has 2 of those, Belarus and Azerbaijan. Then the Americas or the Caribbean has 26 members of the same. The observer states that we do have a total up to 18, as well as organizations under NAM that total up to 10. We expect the member states to rise to 121 as an admission of South Sudan as the newest member into NAM. It's one of the youngest nations in the world, and of course its admission to NAM is also likely at this particular summit of 2024. The theme, if I'm to remind you once again, is deepening cooperation for shared global affluence, as you can definitely look at it from the perspective of affluence. So to join the conversation on the X app, the handle is NAM Summit UGI 2024 as the hashtag that you can definitely use to share your observations and of course your ideas, your queries, your questions as well, and also following more for the updates that is within the country, and UBC is here to make sure that we give you all the updates. Like I did mention, we have different centers of attention as the national broadcaster, looking at what is happening at the business forum, that is at the Kampala Serena Hotel. We also have our eyes and foot set at the main center of focus, that is at the Speak Resort Munyonyo, and also at the Entebbe International Airport, and where most of the journalists and media stations are centered at the Hotel Africana. That is also where you can definitely find a center of attention as the national broadcaster here. Commissioner, let's get into how we can leverage this particular opportunity that we have, or how we can leverage NAM in order to promote Uganda as one, a tourism destination, two, an investment destination, and then three, as a center of attraction for meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibition.
Yes, thanks again. Like I did say, this is a huge advantage. It comes with huge potential for our country. And one of the things we are looking at, and as you can already see, the business and investment networking interaction is going on. Yesterday, Her Excellency, the Vice President, was talking to prospective investors, people we can do business with. So what we are saying is that Uganda as a country, this is one of the best places where you can put your money. For example, our economy continues to grow. I know that it was like all economies around the world was affected by COVID and the lockdowns which impacted business. But post-COVID, our economy has rebounded commendably, and it continues to grow. Like the President was saying yesterday, our economy is now at a GDP of $50 billion, and as it picks growth, by the end of this year, it should have been, it should have reached at 6% of growth. So those are important fundamentals, that growth which is stable, which is steady. But in fact, it is projected to grow to $55 billion by the end of this financial year. So that means that come July this year, going by this economic growth and the projections of growth of the same, our economy will be at $55 billion. So this is a fast-growing economy, even by global standards. If you extract growth rates from around the world, Uganda is one of the fastest growing in the world. You want to put your money in a peaceful area, in a peaceful environment, not so. You don't want to put your money where people are running and where there are maybe roadblocks all over the place. You people who are young never saw roadblocks. I used to see them when I was like yourself. Every 20, 30 kilometers you drive, you're in a roadblock. Investors don't want that. So Uganda being peaceful, it's a big thing for us. Infrastructure in Uganda is fast improving. It's one of the areas government has prioritized. The roads, the connectivity, if you have driven around the country, you can drive to all the border points of Uganda, some of them without touching Maram roads. So the paved roads, the connectivity is very good. Government is now refurbishing railways internally, as you can see even here in Kampala. Yes. But the SGR, the Standard Gauge Railway, is one of the priority projects government is going to do next. Why? Because railway is the cheapest mode of transport, especially for heavy items like cargo. Especially when you're removing them from the port. Absolutely. So that's why government is also moving in that direction, investing in airports. You can see Entebbe has been expanded. Yes. It's going to be expanded further. Yeah, there are new terminals. All of this is meant to further ease investing in Uganda. We have a new airport, international airport, being constructed in Hoima. It's nearing completion in Hoima. We have aerodromes in Arua, in Gulu, in other parts of the country. We have ICT. I'm from Minister of ICT. Government continues to invest heavily. We are now at phase 5 of what we call the NBI, the National Backbone Infrastructure. And last year you launched the digital transformation campaign. We launched that, the digital transformation. We are into skilling, we are into connectivity of the internet itself. We want to connect the whole country. In the next 5 years, we are being ambitious. Why? Because business and investment now runs on ICT. You know, the internet, the e-commerce, even ourselves, the e-business. If you want to book an investment license, you shouldn't be going to line physically at Uganda Investment Authority.
You can just get into the
portal. From wherever you are, whether within or outside Uganda. If you want a visa to Uganda, if you want to process a passport, you can do all these things online. So that is why prioritizing ICT is also promoting business and investment in Uganda. But we're also a young country, as you know. Over 78% of our people are aged below 30, and these people are getting increasingly skilled and educated. So it means we have viable labor in Uganda. So when you invest here, you know you're sure of labor. Talk about raw materials, from minerals, from freshwater bodies, from oil and gas. Uganda is packed. That's why I started by saying there is arguably no country like Uganda on earth here. So from infrastructure, electricity, government has prioritized investment in electricity. So now, like, our business and industrial parks have electricity that is stable. It never goes off. But also, maybe what prospective investors need to know is that that electricity is also subsidized. It is cheaper than electricity being used elsewhere. Reason, we want people who are investing and working in business and investment parks to have, one, stable electricity, but also electricity that is affordable. So this is the place to put your money. And now, talking about investment, the government, through Ministry of Finance, has put in place a lot of what we call fiscal policies to promote investment. For example, tax rebates. There are investors in Uganda who qualify for up to 10 years tax-free doing business here in Uganda. Our interest rates are very stable. Exchange rates very stable, which means you can sit here today and predict that even by the end of next year, the interest rate or exchange rate will be in Uganda will be at this. So, so the business fundamentals are good, and inflation is under control. Uganda, I was reading again, has one of the lowest rates of inflation in the country because of the good policies. However, of course, we also ensure that we balance controlling inflation with promoting economic growth. So then the government is also ensuring that people have market, you know, because investors want where there are markets. Here in Uganda, we have a growing domestic market, but we're also a member of the East African community, the COMESA, Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa. We are also a member of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. When you add up this market, this is a market now of over $150 billion. So it means when you invest in Uganda, one, you can sell in Uganda, you can sell in East Africa, you can sell across Africa, because Uganda, like His Excellency the President has always advocated economic integration, Pan-Africanism. Africa, we are one people. So so his vision for Uganda and the region is bearing fruit in as far as promoting investment is concerned. And government has put in place monetary and fiscal policies that ensure that the business fundamentals are predictable, but they are also enabling so that people can access capital, people can access markets, people can access the materials, and the people can easily move around Uganda. So within Uganda, but also around Uganda. So a growing economy, which is going to grow even faster, and the government is doing everything to support this. Now, tourism is one of our biggest foreign exchange earners, and the government is deliberately promoting tourism through, again, like I've said, the policy framework, institutional framework, which is coordinated through Ministry of Tourism, but also supported by the likes of Uganda Wildlife Authority, Uganda Tourism Board, infrastructure, hotels. You saw even in Munyonyo itself now, where we are hosting this the summit, the NAM summit. Yes, government put money in that facility under joint venture with the Ruparelia Group. The Ruparelia Group. Government put in money, but the government is also supporting the private sector to invest in similar infrastructure. I hope you know that most of the materials...
So it's more like pushing for public and private partnerships.
Yeah, most of the materials, including vehicles for tourism, are tax exempt. So all this is meant to promote tourism.
And also support the private sector.
Yeah, even the transport services. In fact, this is one of the areas our delegates for NAM can consider for investment, but we also invite them to look at what Uganda has to offer by way of the rich tourism menu. Yeah.
Well, Commissioner, I want us to also look at the security part of it, the security detail. 3 summits are ongoing at the same time, but not only that, we expect another one coming in, that is the G77 summit. But also, before all of this, we had the speakers conference, the 27 speakers and presiding officers conference. When you look at the security situation in Uganda, how peaceful it has been, looking at it from the point of confidence votes coming in from the visitors here, how important and valuable is this to our nation?
Yes, but maybe before I come to that, let me quickly touch on maybe areas where prospective investors can look at. His Excellency the President has flagged 4 areas. One of them is manufacturing, and this is possible now because we have a lot of electricity, we have internet connectivity, we have a lot of raw materials, transport infrastructure has improved. So one of the areas for viable investment is in the industry or manufacturing. In fact, I was listening to him the other week. We now have more than 50,000, industries in Uganda, manufacturing entities, but there's much, much more room for investment in that area. The other one is services, areas like tourism itself, banking, insurance, transport. The third one is the ICT, which I've also talked about, infrastructure, connectivity, systems. There's what we call the last mile here, because government does trunk connections between the regions, but the private sector has a lot of room for investing in last mile connectivity. So we speed up digital penetration and uptake. Manufacturing of ICT devices, we are promoting, we want more people who can manufacture phones, tablets, and computers in Uganda. The other one is the commercial agriculture, because I started by saying Uganda has one of the best weather in the country, one of the most fertile countries. We have barely exhausted the potential for agriculture in Uganda. Food, organic food, coffee, milk, dairy, oil and gas, and the others. All these have room for, for investment. So those are some of the key areas where people can invest in. Commercial agriculture, services, ICT industry, and even tourism itself. Now, talking about security, it cannot be overemphasized, because security is the entry point. It's the beginning and the end of everything. Us who were younger in the late 1980s, you may not know again. Even here in Kampala, there was something called a curfew. I don't know whether you have heard about it.
We only had curfew during COVID. That is the first time I heard about it.
Now, for us, when we were growing up, here in Kampala, there was an order: you have to leave town by 5 p.m. So by 3 p.m., people are trekking out of Kampala. You're going to Chibuli, you're going to Tebe Road. Then for the younger people again, then, these days the entertainment industry, hospitality has also grown.
It
in fact, there's now what we call the night economy. Now that time, I remember I was in school. I was in Namilyango College. Well, personally, I was not so much into these things, but I know the equivalent of what you people now call a night dance. You dance through the night.
Trans-night.
That time it was trans-day.
So you do it during
So
daytime.
People start at 9 and end by 2. So that shows you the significance of security. Because without security, nothing works. Without security, even the media, you can't function. You can't go out and pick a story. You can't process a story. You can't open a factory if you don't have security. Tourism, in fact, is the most sensitive to security, because tourism is so much about perceptions, but it's also so much about the realities. Tourism cannot flourish in a place where bullets are flying, where people are being attacked, where people are not sure you'll sleep and wake up tomorrow. So security is the bedrock of everything socio-economic, Education, you cannot open a school when, you know, even hospitals. So each and everything, security is like the highway on which any country can progress. And no wonder, like you are saying, moderator, we don't have just the NAM. Just last week we had the speakers conference.
Yes.
I'm sure there are other places they considered, but they said Uganda is the place to be. It's because we are a secure country. You know, you go home and sleep. I was watching a night program, a talk show which was being hosted in the open in Munyonyo last week, and it was coming live. There were some of these people who talk about Uganda's security. I was telling them, you see, even for you to see it out in the open and have a talk show, program, yes, when you are having coffee, it means you are sure your security is guaranteed. So we had the speakers conference. We now have the NAM. And you know, as NAM ends, we have G77 plus China. Plus China summit. The membership there is 143 countries.
That means more delegates.
So yes, more delegates are coming in. What does it mean? It's that they have confidence that when you go into Uganda, you will transact your business, either for G77 plus China, but other forms of business in Kampala and across the country safely, knowing you will complete what you are doing and travel back home. We now have also the IGAD. The IGAD is also coming to Kampala, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, which has, I think, a membership of 8 countries, including those from the Horn of Africa, the likes of Djibouti and Somalia. So this illustrates that once you address security, like our president has always emphasized security, then anything else comes into fold, because you can't build dams without security. You can't build the connectivity, internet without security. You can't run schools, you can't run industrial parks without security. So no wonder we are now looking at this to leverage and position Uganda as a center for what we call MICE. The acronym of MICE, like I was saying, is meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. Okay. So beyond this, we know we are going to attract more, and we are saying Uganda is the place to be, the power of Africa. Yeah. So security, we are doing very well in my view, and all thumbs up to His Excellency the President and the apparatus and the infrastructure that he's working with to ensure that we sustain security in Uganda. Yeah.
Of course, that is also giving a thumbs up to the UPDF as well, for the work well done. Now, as we're summing up with our conversation this morning, Commissioner, what would be your message? One, to our people, Uganda, and then 2, the message to our visitors in your parting shots.
For Uganda, first of all, allow me to thank our head of the National Organizing Committee, Madam Nachove, our head of public service in Uganda. She has commendably led us from the front with support from Ambassador Ayebare, who is our permanent representative to the UN. Great job he did to lobby behind the scenes to bring NAM to Uganda. Other countries wanted to host it. We pulled it off. We have many subcommittees, infrastructure, as you have seen around Kampala, a lot of infrastructure, the airport, security itself. These are the unsung heroes. These guys work on weekends, at night. There are some of them we have been working with to ensure that everything is okay, like I've said, in terms of security. Thanks to the National Organizing Committee, but also the different subcommittees. Thanks to His Excellency the President, because remember, for you to do this, you need resources. And as we know, constitutionally in Uganda, His Excellency the President is the Constitutional Minister of Finance, although that role is also delegated and executed through the Honorable Minister of Finance. So we thank the President for clearing this, but also ensuring that we do have the resources. For our visitors, this is the power of Africa. You are welcome. I hope you are having the usual delicious Ugandan meal. We have some of the tastiest pineapples in the world. And fresh and extremely juicy. You don't need to add sugar. But we also have some of the best beef, the best milk. And the beauty is that all these are organic. Organic meaning that they are not produced with any added chemicals or whatever. So it's the best food, the safest food. So enjoy the Ugandan hospitality, our people, the delegates. If you have a bit of time, look at the attractive sites around Kampala. I've talked about some of them, the Baha'i Temple, the Gaddafi Mosque, Uganda Wife Education Center, the Kasubi Tombs, the Namugongo Shrines, there's the Ndere Center. If you can dance a bit, even just Kampala itself has a lot to offer. The source of the Nile, a boat cruise on Lake Victoria. Feel at home, Uganda is your home. Even when you conclude the NAM conference, please come again, come and invest in Uganda, come and tour Uganda, come and explore Uganda. For our people, the Ugandans, let's be the good hosts that we are.
Okay.
Let's not overprice like these people selling crafts and around the National Theatre, Uganda Road. Don't increase the price because you think these are our visitors and they will come again, I know. But also the referral, the reports they make about Uganda will determine how people come in and how they do business with you. Because they will tell them, I bought this shirt from a place along a road called Uganda Road.
That is in Uganda.
Yeah, I bought these necklaces and rings from around the National Theatre. Go there. So in other words, our people, be good people, be warm hosts. Like I said, the Honorable Minister didn't force anyone to smile. But the point is that let's be warm hosts. Uganda is known to be a very warm and hospitable country. It is a fact. So let's live up to that and work to optimize the benefits that the NAM presents to us, but also let's look out to prepare to receive our next batch of visitors who are coming on the weekend for the G77 plus China. So it's a busy month. Obey traffic guidelines because we need to ensure that our visitors move
swiftly,
comfortably,
and more conveniently as well.
So that's our message.
Well, there you have it. The Commissioner from the Ministry of ICT, Commissioner Moses Watasa. Many thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
For this insightful conversation.
Yeah,
and to all our dear viewers as well, keep your eyes glued to UBC television because as of today, we shall as well be taking you to the Speak Resort Munyonyo where the Ministry of Meetings will be kicking off later on as we continue with our live broadcast. But further analysis, looking deeper into the private sector as well as the importance and impact of the business forum at the Kampala Serena Hotel will be among us the key discussions that we are to look forward to this particular time as you are watching UBC. As we continue inspiring Uganda, this particular week was entirely given to your live broadcast of the NAM Summit 2024. Stick around and keep watching. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Junko.
Yo.
Wachiko. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, but yeah, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Junko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Well, welcome everyone to the biggest game on the continent.
And you have to, you've got to just seize those moments and enjoy them as much as you possibly can.
No more rashes and irritations. Movit Herbal Jelly and Herbal Soap is rich in natural herbs for a smooth and glowing skin.
Movit all day confidence.
Well, welcome everyone to the biggest game on the continent.
And you have to, you've got to just seize those moments and enjoy them as much as you possibly can.
In the production process of Aquafina, we expertly filter every drop, providing clear and perfect tasting water to help you keep hydrated with the added benefit of minerals. Aquafina is motored by Pepsi Cola International in Uganda and is available at only 1,000 shillings.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
It is day 3 of the Non-Allied Movement Summit happening at the Speak Resort in Munyonyo. Delegates are coming in. Day 1, day 2, it was the senior officials of various states that make up the 120 movement. Now, today we'll be having ministers, foreign affairs ministers from these countries that make up the 120 movement. We will then later, after their deliberations, have the heads of government and presidents. And alongside NAM, history has been made in Uganda, because for the very first time, we are having a business summit alongside the Non-Allied Movement Summit that is happening in Munyonyo. And this is the East African Investment Forum and Trade Exhibition that kicked off on Monday, which was the 15th, and will be running till today, which happens to be the 18th. And joining me on set to discuss this and more is Francis Chisirinya, who happens to be the Chief Coordinator of the Forum. You're most welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chilabo.
First, let's help our viewer understand. Government invested a lot of money in this East Africa Investment Forum and Trade Exhibition. Now, the question is, what has been or what is the purpose of this?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Chilabo. Perhaps maybe to give information to our viewers, the East African Investment and Business Summit is purely financed by the business community. There is no government money. Government didn't invest any money in this forum that is going on. So it's actually been funded by the business community together with the UNDP. Okay. So a number of companies have come in strongly to put money that we are using to have the business community meet and discuss issues that can help them to advance their businesses. We are looking at businesses sharing ideas, looking out for investments and investors, looking out for financing, looking out for technology. So it's a benefit to the business community, much as it is a benefit to government and Uganda too. So we decided as Private Sector Foundation, together with government represented by the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to organize this particular forum to be able to achieve those three things. And on the private sector side, Private Sector Foundation side, I have happened to be the chief co-organizer for this investment and business forum. So I would like to assure everybody out there that the money that we are using for the summit, the business forum, is actually our money as the business community together with the United Development Program, UNDP.
Indeed, the business community is very organized, I must say.
Thank
if
you.
you've managed to put together such trade exhibition, investment forum of this magnitude, I must say it's really a step in the right direction. Now, that said, what are you intending to achieve?
Yes, we set out about 3 major outcomes at the very beginning, what we should achieve from this trade and investment forum as a country, but also as private businesses. Now, as a country, we set out to mobilize investments worth $1 billion from the people who will come to participate in this forum that is going on in Serena Hotel. That is one. The second thing, $1 billion.
Billion
worth of investment.
In which period of time, if at all?
Now, we invited major investors from the various countries that are within the non-aligned movement, but also in G77. And many of them are here. We have big delegations from Qatar, very wealthy people, big investors, from Saudi Arabia, from Egypt, from India, from South Africa, 22 countries that are sitting there, you know. We have also our biggest companies in Uganda sitting in the room there. So we believe, and we also have the government of Uganda has prepared over 30 bankable projects that are ready for investors to put money. Oil refinery, big infrastructure projects, very specifically that we are looking for investors for. So we are hoping that these investors will be attracted to put in money in our projects that we are putting. Now, the second objective was that we create what we call a profile and a brochure which we can always use. Is a manual which has the investors that came in Uganda, their full contact details will be there and what they are interested in, so that even people who have not attended this forum can get this information on the website and say, there is company ABCD, it is coming from Egypt, it is interested in investing in real estate, co-investing in real estate with an investor in Uganda. So if you're an investor in Uganda who is in real estate, then you can use this book to reach out to the companies the other side and say, you are in Uganda, you're interested in real estate, I'm here. These are my profiles and credentials.
Just like I saw the executive director of the National Social Security Fund,
yes,
Patrick Ayota, yesterday, yes, saying that NSSF is ready to partner with any foreign investor, yes, in real estate, yeah, and NSSF will have a contribution, plus the investor having a contribution, which aims at de-risking the business.
Yes, that is the second objective. The third objective we also put forward was that as the business people, as investors in Uganda, at least 3 deals should be signed which can be traced to this investment forum. So those are the 3 things that we set out to do. And I must say, as we are progressing, we are really making lots and lots of progress. To start with, the investors are here from abroad. The second thing, the investors who are operating in Uganda are there, operating in the room. The third thing, the government is putting all its full support and weight. If you were there yesterday, and even today, and even a day earlier, we have the whole government with us. Investment Authority, Ministry of Trade, Foreign Affairs, Finance, all agencies like UFUZA. UFUZA is the Free Zones Authority, Uganda Registration Services. All agencies that are charged with the supporting and supporting investors are with us. So meaning that we are committed as a country to really make this count for the ordinary Ugandan. Because for an ordinary Ugandan, yes, we can sit in the big rooms, in the hotels and what have you. But for them, they will really feel the benefits of this forum when their son gets a job, because there was an investment, there was a factory that was created out of this, that came out of this, you know, that their products, you know, they have got market and got better market. For the business person, an orderly business person who is looking out for instance, financing, they know exactly what they can, where they can find the money. You've just talked about NSSF. Those are pools of money there. But we also have other financiers who are sitting in the room. For instance, Afrexim Bank. Afrexim Bank is a major financer now of both government and private sector. Indeed, they have already committed some significant money in the East African pipeline project. Now, they are looking to make investments for business community, people who have projects they want to fund. They are available to discuss with them and let them know where the investments or where the money, how they can get money from Afrexim Bank. We have our own banks here that we know of. They are sitting there and they are sharing. We have Stanbic Bank, we have Nile Bank, we have Standard Chartered Bank, we have Diamond Trust Bank. They are sharing freely. Let me tell you, one of the things that happens in the forum is that a chief executive is there, but is like any other participant. So sharing a business card with this chief executive can get you talking immediately, which is something you can take forever to do to secure appointments with them outside these kinds of conferences. So we always motivate and ask our business people to take advantage of this forum so that they can network, they can connect, they can get opportunities to be linked to the people who matter and who will make their business different.
Now, first, we know private sector foundation is so much eager in seeing businesses grow. And one of the challenges we have in this country is that many businesses do not live to celebrate their first birthday. The rate at which we open businesses in Uganda is so interesting, and we are ranked very well. But sustainability of this business is where the coin changes to another level. Now, in your talk so far, you're looking at big companies, people who have made it. And no matter, these big companies have their own internet, they have websites, they have, yes, this is a good opportunity for them, but they can even market themselves. But for me, I'm thinking of people in SMEs, which make majority of our population, being the youth. How are they benefiting from this?
Yeah, thank you very much. If you look at the MSME segment, for which we realize PSFU are quite passionate about and look out for all the time. Now, how are they benefiting? There is something that, one of the reasons that has always created problems for SMEs, okay, and affecting their potential to grow, okay, because if you don't grow, you either maintain where you are or you die out. But unfortunately, I think we are seeing SMEs dying out. Now, one of the things that has been identified to be the biggest problem is the issue of access to financing. The second issue is access to markets. Now, how does a forum like this create opportunities for the SMEs? There are around 3 ways that this happens, right? First of all is that all SMEs have an opportunity, or they've had an opportunity to join us for the forum, and we have a number of SMEs that are with us in this particular forum, and some of them actually even exhibiting in this forum. So we have brought them close to the financiers, because finance is their problem. Secondly, we have brought them close to the people who buy their products. There are SMEs that are in the export markets, and their buyers the other side. We have brought them in contact with them. The third area where we have brought them in contact with is the policymakers. This is the third group. As I mentioned, the whole government is with us in Serena. So now, you can see that this universe of 3 things is actually fundamentally supporting the MSMEs, and they're going to benefit significantly from this forum. For instance, in the discussions that we were having yesterday, in terms of how we can make access to financing for to finance business within the city, it was appreciated widely that in Uganda the cost of financing is quite high. So we should be able to bring it down. So whoever was in the room, both the providers of financing, the borrowers, and the policymakers, were hearing the rallying call that we should have cheap or affordable financing. So we hope that these messages will percolate, they will go out, and then are turned into products that MSMEs can actually access and be able to support their business. So SMEs are benefiting. But having said that, as Private Sector Foundation Uganda, even outside this forum, we do have a package of products and services that are geared towards assisting SMEs. For instance, we have grant packages to support them in their businesses in a number of projects. If you look at, for instance, the Lead Farm Structure Project, which is supposed to create a linkage between the big companies, the small companies, and people at the lowest of the lower levels. Yes, there is grant, there is $41 million from MasterCard Foundation that is supporting these people. And actually, as I speak, okay, we have already reached over 100,000 people, young people have already got jobs out of that connection. So we are covering them there. The second one is government has accessed money from the World Bank, upwards of $200 million to support women enterprises under the GROW project, and PSFU is implementing a component of that. So for women entrepreneurs, wherever they have an opportunity to access money to deal with the specific issues at their business level. There are issues of financing, they will be able to access affordable money and appropriate money from financials. Two, there are issues that are very specific: capacity, skills, the technology they are using, the markets, the standards, you know, all of those are going to be accommodated under the GROW project. So I would like to assure our SMEs in Uganda that PSFU is taking whatever it takes, is doing whatever it takes to ensure that we contribute to doing business better for you. We may not solve all the issues around it. Of course, our contribution is just a small percentage, but we are really making the contribution. And I encourage all of you to look out for whenever we have got calls for proposals, participate. First of all, we do a lot of information campaigns. First, go in and hear what we are talking about. Organize your business accordingly. Then now when we come back to you to ask you to come in and propose what you want to do, put the good proposal. If they have asked you for some information, please put the information. Because one of the things some SMEs would like to set their own criteria. It's not possible. Criteria is consulted on over a long time with many stakeholders, and is agreed that, okay, if you are to access this money, you'll need A, B, C, D, E. Now, if we ask you for that information, kindly provide it. Because if you don't provide it, we cannot modify the criteria. Because as I've said, and many times, this criteria is agreed with the government, which is agreed between the providers of the money and the government. So they just bring the money to PSFU to implement. So we cannot actually change the criteria. So I'm really begging you, please comply with what we are requesting you to do, but also give us feedback in case there are things that you think should change. Yes. But don't refuse and say, for me, I want my thing like, why do you ask me for this? Just give me the money because I know my problem. Yes, we know. But there must be certain minimum requirements that you must meet.
Now, Francis, also let's look at today.
Yes.
Yesterday, we saw the Vice President representing the President at the official opening. Now, what should we expect today so that we can see if it is in line with actually what is anticipated to be achieved?
Yeah, thank you very much. We would like to heartily thank His Excellency, the President of Uganda, for really taking interest and sending us his Vice President to be with us in the forum yesterday. We'd also like to thank the Vice President, Her Excellency, directly for the time she put in, the advice she gave, and the commitments and the support that she passed on to the investors and the business community on behalf of government. We want to thank them very much. Now, as far as today is concerned, we really have an exciting menu, ladies and gentlemen. If you are listening to me today, you are an accredited delegate. You don't want to miss the full day, because we do have many of the things that we are going to talk about, or we are going to present to you. First of all, this, as I speak now, sessions have begun, where we are showing, as Uganda government, as East African governments, the bankable projects we have for investors to put money in. So Uganda invest local and foreign investors who are working in Uganda are sharing their experience. How have they made it
in Uganda?
In Uganda, you know,
the likes of MTN.
Yes, what does it take to succeed? So we are going to have what we have called a fireside chat.
Okay.
Where people are going to share in a relaxed way how they have made it. So Afrexim Bank is going to lead this conversation. It will give us a keynote presentation. Then after that, it will sit down in a fireside chat format and talk to our investors on the manufacturing. What does it take for you to succeed in manufacturing? So Mr. Humphrey, who is a manufacturer and a chairman of Private Sector Foundation, is going to share with the audience what it takes to succeed in manufacturing in Uganda. He represents the local investors, and these are some of the successful local investors. The second one is we are going to have an international, a multinational company here in Uganda also sharing. So MTN Uganda, the chief executive officer, is going to also be sharing with the audience how they have really made it in Uganda and what additional business facilitation services from the ICT perspective they actually are providing to support the growth of businesses. Then the investors from abroad, the foreign investors, we are going to be having a company called Moderna. These are investors from UAE. They have got successful investments in Uganda in the pharmaceutical sector. They are going to share also with us, you know, so that everybody can be able to be assured that Uganda is an investment destination. When we talk about Uganda being the best investment destination in East Africa, they're going to demonstrate it. How? When we say you are free to bring your money in Uganda, invest it in any sector you are interested in investing. When you make your money, you are free to carry it out. They're going to show it and tell people practically that they have seen it. If they tell you that we have a conducive investment environment, like for instance from perspective of the policies that are supporting, they are going to demonstrate this. You know? So we have investor confidence built, both foreign and local investor. Uganda is a hot cake. So you'll be seeing all these, we'll be having all these discussions today afternoon. So it is a panel not to miss. Please, we are requesting you and asking you, the business community, those that are created to be with us, please come, let us have a good discussion. But as we do this, there are exhibitions that are already there. 60 companies are exhibiting, the big of the biggest, both in products and in services. Come and see. Share with them at their stall what their products, what advantage you can take from their products. We also have business to business. There is a launch. Okay? We have set out 12 stations. Like the sitting rooms that you have in your homes. Nice ones, ambient, good. So you can sit as a business person from Uganda with an investor from the other party and discuss in a cordial and relaxed environment.
Wow.
What? Yes. Your businesses, yes. What you can do together, what partnerships you can execute that can allow your businesses to continue to thrive and grow. All this is happening throughout. Anytime you want to go to the launch, it is available. So you come take advantage of these things and ensure that you are able to contribute, you are able to support your company to get the opportunities that are here for you to grow your company. So this is what is happening today. Then later on, we'll have a closing ceremony because this has been 3 days. this is the last day, so we are going to have a closing ceremony. And as Uganda, we aimed also from the very beginning to show our best as a country. You know, when somebody comes to your home, you know, you can do all the things okay. You serve a nice, you welcome them very well, you serve a nice meal, conversations are good. But when the time comes for people leaving, I mean, you just handle it in any way.
Yes.
You know, so somebody might, so what we want to create, ladies and gentlemen, as Uganda business community, we would like to create a lasting impression for the visitors, for the investors, or for the people who came from abroad to come to Uganda here. But also a lasting impression for also our local investors here, because they're also part. They should remember this investment forum, you know. So we are going to do this during the closing ceremony. And I'm requesting that we patronize this closing ceremony and create that lasting impression so that people, when they go, they can come back.
And what magic is that?
The magic is in the sort of, we expect the Right Honorable Prime Minister to be with us.
Okay.
That is, first of all, a stamp from government, because this is being closed at a high level as the Prime Minister. Secondly, the niceties and the exchanges you are going to have, you know, and all of those things, together with things that we have prepared that we hope to be sharing with the visitors. So we want to create a lasting impression this evening to really cap and close
just
our
a minute, as I look at things, we promise to be giving you events as they're unfolding. And now at Speak Resort Munyonyo, there is a VIP who is arriving. Remember, today is the official opening of the meeting of ministers within foreign affairs. And when I look critically, that is the vice president who has arrived at Munyonyo, retired Major Jessica Alupo. So she has arrived, and that is for the ministers summit that is opening today under the non-allied movement. Remember, day one, day two, it was the senior officials meeting, and this is followed by the ministers meeting. Then later we shall have the heads of state or governments meeting. We are still discussing the outcomes and what we should expect regarding the East Africa Investment Forum and exhibition at the Kampala Serena Hotel that kicked off on Monday and is going to be ending today. Now, all this has been said. As of now, do we have any success from anticipating, yes, these people have come, we've given them this very welcome, we've organized this, we expect this to be our target? Do we have any so far registered deals sealed, done, or are we still optimistic?
Yes, for now, we are in the courting phase. You know, we are in the courting phase. We are knowing each other, you know. Now, after the courting, there will be Kwanjula. And then there will be
the wedding.
The wedding. Which
so it is dating time.
So right now, we are actually dating. And I must tell you that this is going very well. Because from the information that we have, we already have a team of investors from the Qatar, from Saudi Arabia, that are here. They have met the local for high-level assurance in terms of investment. So they are interested in investing in a wide variety of sectors in Uganda. That is one. Secondly, we've got investors from Turkey who also have identified about 8 different sectors. Agribusiness, that's most exciting. ICTs, real estate, manufacturing, you know. So they are looking to investing in these sectors. And good enough, they already have investments here. Now, it is adding on more and more investments. So we are optimistic that these will actually fruit later on. The third, they are investors from Egypt. Okay, they are very much interested in our oil sector and mineral sector. I can tell you, when the Honourable Minister of Minerals made her pitch yesterday on the opportunities in the mineral sector, everybody was saying, "Wow, you know, this is a place to make money." You know, so both our local and foreign investors picked a lot of interest. You know, so we think that together with the other players which we have brought, because an investment cannot be executed in a vacuum, there must be the right policies. We have the right policy framework, and a number of issues are being discussed that can help even these investments be fruit quicker. Okay, that is one. The second one, the financing that is required. The financials are there. You know, they are there in the room. So you've heard NSSF has a balance sheet upwards, I think, of now, I don't know how many $1 billion, but they are the biggest investor on the Nairobi Stock Exchange, Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange, Kampala, you know.
It's a fund of 20 trillion Uganda shillings.
They have the money, and they have said they can match with investors. That money is there. We have a Kenya pension fund that is here. It is looking to where to invest money. It is called the CPF. You know, it's a pension fund, and pension funds really have investment and patient money. Yeah, they are looking to supporting our local investors to access money to fund their businesses. That one is also there. Our local and the banks are there. All of them are. So if you look at the whole of that universe, I think for me it gives me a lot of confidence that but we are also presenting projects, ready projects. Yeah? You know, in the past people are choosing, you know, you go talk to investors, you are not ready, you are talking about things out to abstract, things out of the air. Now projects have been studied. They are designed. Feasibility studies are done, and business plans are done, and they are confirmed that these projects are viable. They are bankable. They are bankable. So meaning that we are presenting something that is plug and play. You know?
Now that's said, plug and play.
Yes.
And how sweet and optimistic. There's always been an issue of bureaucracy disturbing our foreign investors, and an issue of corruption. That much as Francis, for you're seeing these investors coming in, there's a technocrat somewhere, when he hears that an investor is coming in with 20 billion, the interest is, what is my share? Investors are being frustrated, you know? So what measures, because we have PSU, we have government, so what measures in that direction to reduce bureaucracy, which is a big challenge, and also eliminate tendencies of corruption?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think for the issue of bureaucracy that is hampering investments in the country, as private sector foundation, we have played a very big role, first of all, to identify for government that bureaucracy is a hindrance, it's a roadblock to investment. But also proposed what could be done to deal with those bureaucratic tendencies that really fail businesses. So government agreed.
An investor is told of free land,
then
comes here, hoping I'm going to get free land. He spends 6 months, 9 months finding how to get that free land.
So we propose to government that we must create what they call a one-stop center, where an investor walks in and has all the services that they need for their businesses handled in one place. We are demonstrating that here in Serena, the one-stop center, how it works. But also, as PSFU, with this money that government borrowed from the World Bank, and want to thank them very much, we have undertaken significant reforms that are showing, first of all, in land registration, the entire land registration system has been reformed, from processes, from equipment that is used, to digitalization. So it is much easier now to deal with land issues. Now, if government, I'm going to provide you a standing piece of land in a particular place, okay? This land, I mean, the data is already available. It is not that it's not there. So that helps in terms of accessing that land quickly. Secondly, in terms of business registration, we have also worked on the entire process, entire system, and digitalized it, you know. The investment authority also, we've also worked with them to create the necessary and relevant facilities that help them. So if you go to Kololo, PSFU, when we were given the responsibility to build a building that will have all these services, in a record time, we were able to put forward that 16-floor building in Kololo. All of that is meant to facilitate investment. The one-stop center is there. The facilitation, the facilities, all our agencies that work with, they are all in that room, and we handed over in that building. We handed over that building. Is now supporting investors. So from the bureaucracy perspective, the systems, the facilities have been put in place by government. We thank government and we thank them for giving us a role, which we have played very well. The second one, with regards to corruption, it's really worrying and a bad thing that we have this corruption